Marketing is my discipline, and it has been for over 40 years. But I always used to get frustrated in my early years when in the travel business, financial bosses would say, "What's our return on investment, ROI, of our marketing spend?" And I couldn't give them any real metrics. Yes, I'd put a coupon code in an advertisement, and I'd try all sorts of tricks with TV ads and manually tabulate customer zip codes to see where they'd come from. Long, laborious work that in the end gave me very little valuable information. So when I saw that the name of today's guest company is ROI Online, I just had to meet the CEO for the TopGun Show. He's also the author of the intriguing Golden Toilet. So come with me to Texas and say, welcome, Steve Brown.
So proud to be here, Malcolm. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to meet you, and especially from sunny Texas. Steve, I said in my opening, my old days of trying to deliver an ROI on marketing was so inaccurate and laborious. How do you do it today at ROI Online?
Well, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. Obviously, the default thing is, well, I spent this amount on an ad. How many accounts did I get? But there's so many other upsides that you can take into consideration. More importantly, what I'm wanting to really address is we're actually building an evergreen asset that helps you grow the value of your business. And so if we look at it more strategically and less as just a tactical item that we check off the list, then I think we can have a proper expectation of success, of actually accomplishing things that are worth the time, effort, and investment of money.
I don't know about you, but here in the UK, procurement people are increasingly getting involved. But we'll talk about that in a second or so. Take us through your 4 steps to boost your marketing ROI. And can any business take those steps?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the whole essence of my book is I realized one day I was working with a client. They'd been with us for like 3 years, and we were really proud of all the work that we had done for them, and had actually just maybe a month ago used it as a success model for what we were doing. And so that's why I was so surprised the day that he meets and he says, "Steve, I just don't think this is working." I was flabbergasted. Why couldn't he see that it was working? And what I learned after asking some clarifying questions, he was measuring success by attrition. Were we bringing on more accounts this year and increasing the account base over last year? And after digging around, I realized there was a hole in his sales process. We were happily, cheerfully dumping all these leads, so to speak, on their desk, but people were coming in the morning and kind of pushing them aside so that they could do their job. And it blew me away. And so why? When I did an evaluation, it was because we didn't really establish the fundamentals with him. We assumed he understood the fundamentals. And that's where we get off track in every relationship, is if we assume we're on the same page, seeing the same page, it's most often wrong. So the 4 fundamentals are clear messaging. You want to really nail that messaging. That's your biggest competitive lever. It's the challenge that every leader struggles with, how to clearly communicate their vision, their value, and their offers. Number 2, where does that live? It has to live in some sort of technology, especially today in modern marketing. People are evaluating us from a distance of safety online, so that clear messaging has to reside in some sort of technology. That's called marketing automation. And many of us are familiar with it because MailChimp or something like that, but it's so much more. Basically, it's a nice Walmart greeter that makes everything comfortable and easy and improves the customer experience in a digital way. Sales automation. How many times have you gotten excited? You have evaluated about something, made a decision, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to sign up for it. And when you went to do that, something went wrong. They didn't value you, they didn't care about you, and it emotionally upset you to the point where you even wrote a bad review. Why is it that we feel so betrayed? It's because the experience that we had during the evaluation process wasn't congruent in the sales process. And that's why you need to take that into consideration. And so the third component is what I call sales automation. That messaging and experience needs to be congruent in the last steps, whatever that may be, especially in our world where technology can make that so easy. Then we can start thinking about what strategic campaigns do we want to run now that we have the system set up to accommodate and expedite the onboarding experience. Then we can start to be strategic and promote, run ads, because it's going to get us a better investment on our ads if we have a place that makes sense for them to continue on.
Brilliant. Absolutely. And it flows so well, those steps. Yeah. Okay. Now we've got viewers' attention. What the heck is your golden toilet book about? And why should marketers read it or listen to it? I believe anyone can listen to it on Audible, can't they? Okay,
Exactly.
Steve, toilet talk time.
Toilet talk. Okay. So one day I realized I'd had hundreds of conversations and they were all in the same theme. Entrepreneurs, business owners, marketing directors would show up and they go, Steve, I think we need to redo our website. But if we were to back up and look at it as a foreign movie with the subtitles on it, this is what they were really saying. Steve, I have an expectation that this investment on this asset needs to move the needle somewhere, but I don't know the proper expectations and I don't have the proper words to guarantee that outcome. I need someone I can trust and lead me through it, is what they were saying. But here's the problem. They get called every day with people promising them to get on the top of a search. We can get your business at the top of a search in just 3 weeks without knowing anything about your business. All they're wanting to do is make their quota and they don't care about your business. But when you hear that over and over and over, guess what you think? I guess we need to show up in the top of a search. I'm going to use that language to try to drive to success on this thing that I don't know what to expect. And so one of the most persuasive ways to get someone to reframe is to introduce an absurd, somewhat humorous way to reframe the way we look at it. And our problem is people are looking at a website and they're not seeing a system. So what is the most universal representation of absurd, wasted money that's offensive? It's a golden toilet. And so when I said, look, your website's just a toilet. If you wouldn't move into this office if it didn't have one, right? You wouldn't buy a house if it didn't have a toilet. But when people come over to your house, where do you hang out? In the kitchen, around the pool, the fireplace, the dining room. So stop putting so much focus on the website. It's a one piece of a comprehensive system that makes a house a home. Same with the website. So one piece of a comprehensive system that grows the value of your business.
Brilliant. I like that. Yeah. Steve, and just to remind everybody, the URL is behind me on the screen here, where you can go and I believe you can listen to on Audible your book, can't you?
Absolutely. It's on Audible. We have a Kindle version as well, and of course the paperback.
Okay. Steve, I know you like to talk blunt and straight in Texas.
Yes.
There's thousands and thousands of marketing agencies around the world, all offering to improve my return on investment and marketing effectiveness and make me King Google and rolling in dollars tomorrow and so on. I'm immune to that now, but many are not, much to their regret later after a costly mistake. So just remind people, what makes you different from those others? Hey, I know you have to market and sell, but how do you show and deliver your credibility?
So here's what's wrong with our industry is the problem is this, and I won't say they're all malicious, okay? But the problem with sales is that if we're looking at it as I need to make my quota, whether it's the best thing for this potential customer or not, is the main thing. But the real problem is if you were to go to a marketing agency and say, I need help, they're going to want to help you. And so if you say, I think I need to show up in search, and they go, okay, we're great at SEO, and here's why we're better than everyone else. But what they're not doing, if you were to go to a doctor and you say, doctor, my liver hurts, and I want you to take it out because it's just bothering me. And the doctor says, okay, and says to the nurse, schedule the surgery. Okay. Then you go to the surgery and you come back 6 months later after your rehabilitation and you still have that pain. You know what that's called? Malpractice.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening, is that even though most of these marketing agencies, these people that are selling these things, let's assume they have your best intent, they're helping you with a tactical thing that you asked for. But what they're missing is a fundamental understanding of your business. And again, the problem, assuming you have your foundation in place. So that's why we waste money on all these shiny things, like a golden toilet, that doesn't move the needle and grow the value of your business. And if you were to sign up for the military, maybe you were a Malcolm, I don't know. But when you showed up, did they just hand you a rifle and a uniform and say, go get them? No, they run you through boot camp.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's assumed that you've gone through boot camp, but it's not true. And that's why most of these initiatives fail.
Now, many business owners tell me they're keen to use all this new technology like marketing automation, but they're also fearful of it in case it fails and the results damage their company and perhaps their own reputation. With so many changes in elements such as machine learning and artificial intelligence, you can understand their concern. So how does ROI Online keep ahead of changes, help, and reassure such business owners?
So that's an excellent question. There's all these shiny things. You know, the debate, I tell you, if I can get you to adopt a marketing automation platform, get your messaging clear, adopt some marketing automation and a CRM before you start running your strategic campaigns, I have probably pushed you in the top 5% of all the businesses that you compete with, because it's exactly what you stated. It's scary and intimidating. And who's going to figure it out on your team? You started your business to do what you do best. Maybe you run a coffee shop. Maybe you're a plastic surgeon. Maybe you're an attorney. You're not a marketing specialist, right? But yet you're faced with this dilemma that you're being forced to move into some version of that technology. And so, first of all, if you read my book, then you would start to understand the proper expectations and what it's going to do for you. And you're being put into a position of empowerment where you can direct and make good decisions on who can support you, whether it's your own marketing director, whether you're outsourcing. But as long as they're helping you get established and get your fundamentals in place, then you're way ahead of that. Later, you can add on the other things that are relevant to your specific business. But every chatbot selling person, they'll sell it to whoever, whether it's best for your business or not. And the dilemma is, I don't know if it's best for my business. But if we get your fundamentals in place, then you start to go, oh, I don't think that would be good. Or that's exactly, I've made mistakes myself. I've signed up for stuff and realized later, oh, that wasn't the best decision for me.
Steve, when I was on your website, I really do like your free downloadable 120-day quick start guide. Tell people what it is and why it's useful to them.
So think about the folks that whole website was designed with this thinking. The people that we really relate with and thrive with are a progressive-minded business owner that's done this. They've got a great business, great employees, great customers, and they're preparing to scale. And they look up invariably and they go, we need to get our act together online now because all my customers are having great experiences at Starbucks and Uber and all these others. And when they come to my platform, they're expecting the same experience, right? And so to be able to go and see, and the thing that you're working on is very nebulous. clear messaging, some technology. These are nebulous things. And how do you see what we're doing? So the people that come to our website, they're in this state of mind that I'm going to achieve this. I want to avoid mistakes. And to have an outline that tells you the timeline, the deliverables along that timeline, what you're going to get, what we're going to accomplish, and in 120 days gives them clarity about what they can expect and to evaluate it from a position of confidence when they're not clear what to expect. To be able to see it, read it, and understand is very comforting. It feels safe. It also feels like you understand me and what my challenge is.
So just to remind people, again, the URL behind me, pop along there and download Steve's free 120-day quick start guide. Okay, Steve, and by the way, I love the transparency approach that you had. Okay, the person who holds the purse in a company says to you, Steve, I'm ready to give it a go. What will you do for me? And how will you show me my ROI? So what will your answer be, including your workflow for that new client?
Well, the number one thing that we're going to be able to show for the investment is we're going to have an evergreen asset. Now, what does that mean? So we're clear that if you have an office or you have a shop, it's clear where you're going to park, what your hours of operation are. When I come in the door, I know where to go next. There's someone, receptionist, or there's a counter where I can order, where I pick up my order, where I'm going to sit down. This experience is very clear, deliberate, and intentional and thought out. And so we're going to deliver the virtual version of that for you. So we're going to have a very nice human experience created for those who are evaluating what you do. And on top of that asset, it's going to be timely and it's going to be timeless and it's going to be able to scale. So we're going to create your foundation. We're going to get you moved into this scary technology. We're going to tighten it up for you, and we're going to deliver one strategic campaign, and you're going to be educated along the way. So we're going to move you from a position of unclarity, I'm not sure, into I know exactly what I'm getting and why we're doing it. Then from then on, regardless whether you continue on with us or have someone else, you're going to have a foundation that you scale upon. The system will scale with you. So we have created an asset that grows the value of your business.
Brilliant. And I love the hand holding. It's so important, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Steve, let's finish our chat today with you giving our Top Gun Marketing Show viewers the ROI lineup of your top 3 elements pitch as to why they should be connecting with you now.
So I believe that the invisible heroes of our time are the entrepreneurs, the business owners that have taken something, they're risking their family's livelihood to create a business that provides us with services and products that improve our lives, that provide jobs so that people can pay their bills, send their kids to school, get to the place that they want to be. And these people risk so much. So number one, you're my hero. We understand that, and we want to empower you and help you make it through this scary jungle that you're realizing you need to go through. Number two, we're going to educate you and empower you to where you finally have clarity. You don't need to be a marketing expert. Just like you don't know, you're not an employment expert, you're not an invoicing expert, but guess what you do? You show up every day and you do a good job regardless. Why? Because you are that hero. It's going to do it anyway. Same with this marketing and business development challenge. We're going to give you the tools, the clarity, and the words to feel confident and to grow in this area. And number three, we're going to support you along that way. So how nice would it be to have a team that aligns with you, understands you, and is someone that you can trust to get you what you need and not get you something to make our quota, right? We don't want to commit malpractice. We want to make sure you understand why we're doing what we're doing and get your fundamentals in place. That's winning.
Brilliant, yeah. Steve Brown of ROI Online, just before we finish, I just want to remind people to pop along to your URL. The golden toilet's waiting for you. Thank you for a brilliant interview.
I'm just proud to be here. Thanks so much, Malcolm. Your questions are very insightful and thoughtful, and you're a great host.